They got their account removed for that too, dude.
Well, that kind of sucks, but you know,
Oh,
still
Burwell,
funny.
fuck Killeen, Texas. All right, I'm down with that shit.
So fuck Killeen, Texas, always welcome.
Right, always welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even need to pull a ticket. Just go ahead and get it. Go ahead and grab your seat.
Right.
So, well,
space has been reserved.
Right, exactly. Well, since we're live, guys, I want to go ahead and give our audience. First of all, I want to thank both of you guys for coming up on the live feed. For the audience, I appreciate all you guys being here, showing us some support. Today's discussion is going to be particularly about Killeen. We might have some questions for no questions about it, but overall, the panel today is to talk about the what's going on in Killeen, what we are dealing with now, what hurdles did we have to go through, and where we plan on moving without giving up too much information, what we plan on doing moving forward. But that's what the panel is for here today. If you have anything you'd like to speak about as pertains to Texas law enforcement or something that happened to you in Texas or a similar incident, you guys are more than welcome to come up onto the panel. Only thing that I request is that when you do come on the panel is let me see your face so that I know that you're a real person and you're not just a troll. So, but other than that, guys, we're going through.
Real troll.
Thank everybody for being there. Bo Burwell, thank you for joining. Tote for Life, M Star.
M Star.
Thank you for joining. So
what up, M Star?
Party started.
Man, where the chat? Where the chat at? I can't see nothing but. I can't see the chat. Are we able to see the chat too?
Yes, there are comments running in the StreamYard, and because you're probably on a telephone, you have diminished capability of viewing that. If you're
they might, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Tito? Well, let's get this party started. No question.
Well, I would have known I would have brought a DJ. Let's go, music.
Well, I want to talk about something that I saw on a post. Not James Madison. Who was the
there was Madison with that chick and the cop.
Okay, so the incident that James Madison posted with the female officer that stopped the other officer from. Obviously, there was no audio, but we could tell by his body language and then his cherry red face whenever she pulled him off. He was obviously doing something that he wasn't supposed to, because she had the moral compass as a female officer to go and try and drag this male officer who obviously was like 3 times her size. And then he turns around and grabs her by the throat.
What?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so this female officer had the least the moral compass to do something to stop what this other officer was doing, obviously which was wrong. She saw it. And yet none of the other officers did anything, and she was the only one to do something. So in my eyes, everyone that was there other than her should be fired. They failed to do anything, and obviously saw something wrong. But that was what I saw on a post. James Madison had posted a video here not too long ago. So you guys go check that out. I shared it on my community page. So
shit, you should have played that man right now. We can do it.
It's just, dude, it's crazy, man. I can't believe that's what we're dealing with. But.
Well, again, this is like the attitude of the police to the civilian population. I saw something absolutely horrific today on one of those wannabe news kind of shows. It was this lady analyzing the situation, and this guy's walking down the street in summer. He got his like hoodie on, and he's walking down the street, and the cop stops him, and he starts this ID shit, and he doesn't stop, and he detains him. Not only detains him, then he arrests him for some bogus traffic thing. And a couple of days later, a cop is like knocking on his door at 2 o'clock in the morning, telling him that he has a bench warrant out. And here it's like, and where did this cop start? It's that crack ID. There have to be resolutions passed. There have to be changes made that, hey, you know what? Cop, you gotta at least know your job. At least know your job.
At the minimum, at least know the 1 through 4. You should know. That's kind of like my.
It's not 5 and 6, because 6 will bring the tricks, baby.
14 of them motherfuckers, but at least you got to know 1 through 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Cajun Randy, Poor Dirt Farmer? Thank you for joining. John Eagle, Know Your Rights. Our guy, good people. Good to see you.
Our guy, that's my guy right there.
Okay, so there was a comment that I saw on a post, and this is I want to share this with the chat because I think this hits the nail right on the head, and I think this explains a lot of what's going on today. And what I want to share with you guys is that this is what I'm going to say. It says that you are being conditioned to believe that your freedom is something that's rewarded to you for good behavior and could be removed if you don't comply with the government orders. So basically saying that you think that it's okay to be given your civil rights as a reward, and that's all dependent on your compliance with the government. That's a problem. When you believe that your civil liberties should be something that's rewarded to you for your compliance. Whether that's what do we call it? Well, if you're not doing anything, if you got nothing to worry about, right? Why don't you just do your idea if you ain't doing anything wrong?
You don't have anything to worry about. You don't have anything to hide. Yep.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That voluntary compliance that everybody thinks that's okay is just voluntarily shitting on everybody else that wants to stand for their rights and be secure in their person's paper.
Absolutely.
So if a cop tell you to spread your asshole open, you gonna do that too? You know what I'm saying? It's like
only if he says
it. Only if he asks nicely, right?
Ask nicely, and you got to kiss it. Yes, sir. Right. There you go, buddy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
that's
this,
what I'm saying.
Because they have a badge and a gun, don't mean that you need to let them ramble all through your fucking personal possessions.
Absolutely.
You have rights. You can say no. You can even yes. You don't have nothing to have. So why do you need to go on my vehicle? Like, I have rights in this country. You don't have to spread your asshole open just because you fear that you need to tell him everything that he asking you. You can't say no. You can't refuse to answer the questions.
Well, see, and that's a lot of the thing is a lot of people like to voluntarily just surrender basic rights like that so they can go about their way. And that's the problem, man, is that you exercising your rights to a public official, this being a police officer, male or female, you maintaining your civil liberties does not make you non-compliant. Does not make you a problem in society, does not make you a bad citizen, which we see that cops like to throw in your face when you start to exercise your rights. Oh, you want to go there. Oh, you want to create a problem. You see what I'm saying?
And the first call on the radio will be, we have one being non-compliant, and they use these derogatory terms, which are totally unfounded in any fact or truth or anything, to put you in a situation you're already in the negative and you owe them kindness, and human instinct, I'll help you, there's a misunderstanding. Shut the fuck up. There is no misunderstanding. Right. He wants to put you in a box, not him, but Mr. Policeman. That's all he's after. That's all he's after. Fundraising for the state,
intimidation, harass, and arrest. And you know what? It's funny because if you show the thing is they're saying, oh, I'm just being nice, I'm being cordial. Well, when they're talking to you nicely in their face and they're asking you these irrelevant questions that don't have anything that pertain to the stop or the scope of why they pulled you over, it's not because they're being nice. It's because they want to create dialogue with you so that you can get caught up on your own words, contradict yourself, and give them reason to further investigate and possibly get into your shit.
Right.
And unless you wake up and see that that's the truth, you're going to continue to voluntarily surrender your rights. And then when you're getting on a death train, I'm going to see you because I'm going to be on a hill way back with the scope. So I'm sorry.
That's my methodology, is always lay back about a kilometer and watch them through the glass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's to the point to where when I first started my activism, I kind of felt bad for some people, and all that. And now I'm to the point to where and I'm glad I saw a video. AFA put it out there. Fuck your feelings. Yes. My rights trump your feelings and authority every time. And Absolutely. If you as a hardcore American can't get that through your head, well then go join the sheep in the other pen, because this American's not, man.
Right.
Because I don't want to pass on. Well, I don't want to pass on a country to my kids and have rights that they never even knew existed. Nobody wants that for their generations of children and grandchildren. But they're willing right now to bend over for the mere safety, because of officer safety or safety. All of a sudden, my rights get completely dismissed. That doesn't make any sense.
We're creating a future of asshole spreaders.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That says it all. No more bootlegs. Just spread them.
Call them system secretaries. You know what I'm saying? Like their sole purpose is to indoctrinate you into a system. So,
right.
Why would you assist them in any way, shape, or form? You know what I'm saying? Why would you answer any questions that you don't have to answer? Why would you roll your window up so they can grab a meter to put over your window and read the 10 on your window? You is that a law? It's not a law that says you have to do that.
Yeah, you like that one, didn't you?
Man, that's a gem that I just recently.
You like that one.
Shout out to Darren and Liv. Shout out to Darren and Liv for that one, boy. I was taking notes on that one.
Well, the problem is, man, is everybody's okay with just volunteering everything away, man. I don't understand that. You know, we're not going to go anywhere forward. We're not going to make any changes. We're not going to make any difference to what we're doing if the people don't wake up and realize that we can't be the only ones to go out and exercise our God-given rights. They got to stand too, man.
Well, as homeboy Franklin once said about 200-something years ago, you know, he who will give his security for, you know, he will give his freedom for security will have neither. You know, so it's kind of like, hey, it don't work like that. You know, 200 years ago, they knew that, and they knew what the game was, and they knew what the game's players were capable of. So they put these checks in so the people could always have the reins. But the reins have like fallen down, and somebody got to jump on that fucking horse now, like in the Westerns, you know, go get the reins and stop the carriage from going over the cliff. But that's what it's like. Yeah. No questions about it for Congress.
Hey, I'm up for you.
Hey, I will too, and I don't even vote. I'll be done with that. You know, homeboy needs a job. Let's vote for president. Fuck this shit, man. Hey. Anarchy. Let's go.
Whatever.
Hey, okay. So no question. I got a question for you, bud. And I know this is going to be easy for you to answer, but this is a panel that pertains to Killeen and you know, predominantly you know, what's going on with you and what's really happening. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to do a panel because after those two news stories, man, I mean, you went dark, and I 100% agree with you on that. Not want to do panels, not want to do you know, things like that is because you don't want things to get misunderstood, things to go ahead and because that early in stage, so many things can be twisted and bent. You know, to
that's why I was very happy with the ABC story because they actually portrayed him very accurately, and they took 4 pearls that he gave to them, and they used it. It was very well done. Unlike some of the articles of the paper, which you know, hey, okay, you want to be a novelist, but you work for a paper. Sorry, you lost.
Right. No, exactly. But no question. So my question to you, man, and you can tell me you don't answer questions. But
you know, I'm quick to say that.
I know, man. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't even say that. You just retort. Question. Witness stand. Give me the truth.
That's how you got to do it.
So the question is, what about yourself? No question. What about yourself, if anything? Now, this is if anything has changed about the way that you look at your activism before and after the unlawful arrest and Killeen?
That's a good question. I really haven't really thought about that, to be honest. That's a damn good question. How do I look at my activism before?
Well, what has changed in your activism? So, like at the beginning of your activism, has anything changed now that you've been arrested? Is there more light? Is there more drive? Is there more motivation? Is there tactics are different? Do you communicate differently? I mean,
well, I don't think anything has changed as far as my approach. Like everything has remained the same, but ever since the arrest, I feel like it's been a lot of pressure, to be honest. Like a lot of time has been put into it. A lot of energy has been put into it, even though, you know, I'm not really making a lot of traditional videos that I usually make. Mm-hmm. But I'm out here like literally like I'm taking time away from my family now to do a lot of things that's dealing with the arrest and but as far as um I think that the main thing is the eyes that's been on the situation has allowed me to be a vehicle for my platform. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now if you don't learn anything out of this whole situation, you better know that if you're a fucking passenger in the car, you ain't got to identify.
Right.
So,
at least that's right.
That's one thing that I have noticed. There's a difference is the simple fact that this situation has allowed me to further the education, to be that voice, and to be the change, and to show the world how you do it.
Has any of Killeen community, with that being said, has any of the Killeen community, and I mean we mean residents of Killeen, have any of them come out and reached out to you with stories or things that may have happened pertaining to Killeen PD? Now that you're on the radar, people want to know, hey, you know, what can you do to help me? Has anybody come to you and asked you anything like that?
Absolutely. I've had other activists, other citizens that's going through different things. I've invited them. They might be in the comments right now in the chat, but I've spoken with well, I haven't spoken with them, but I've been back and forth and communicating through message. What's his name? The Mr. Warren, Pat Warren, that got killed about a year ago this month. I've been in contact with his son, and he's reached out to me. He's not in the area right now, but he's reached out to me. I invited him to, he might be in the comments right now. Shout out to Patrick Warren. His name is Pat Warren as well. And then I've been other people in the community that's been just sending me messages like, hey, you know, this is what's going on, and I've invited them to the chat as well. But it's been like overwhelming because, you know, like it's my situation is it just happened to be on camera, you know what I'm saying? But you know, just as well as you, Five My Veteran, Bully Beck, everybody's going through a situation right now. So it's like, you know, it's just not myself. And it feels like the weight is heavy, you know what I'm saying? But well, it's been a lot of people reaching out.
Well, I think the reason why a lot of the activists right now are being, or even more so, even now, I think they're being pressured, is because they want to silence the people that are standing up for not only themselves and rights, but other people as well. What the government can't have, they can't have people in unity. They can't have people with, and I mean people that are not directly involved with them, with really good critical thinking skills and problem solving skills to alleviate the need for those public officials. There's a problem, particularly with police. You know, everybody says that all they're community protectors and community protectors. There's not one time that I can think of to where an officer was there when a robbery was happening or a murder was happening.
Absolutely,
they prevented it. They were there merely after the fact to write the facts down, write down whatever they had, and then the detectives take it off from there. But I haven't seen anybody. I just don't see that, man. I'm sorry. The
my point is the police being a revenue gathering force for the government or the city. And it's all about the money, man. You know, robbery, insurance, somebody's going to get paid. They're involved. Anytime money is in the, you know, underlying anything, they're going to be involved, because again, the government conquered commerce. They conquered countries. They shot politicians for commerce. They've been doing it for 230 fucking years. They've been doing it for commerce. And, you know, until like the mindset of the making money changes to the good of the people, which it's supposed to be, that's a big step. And the big way to do it is, you go to the city council and you get stuff put on the agenda and you make them talk about it, and you go and you bother them doing their job and you make them listen to you and you make them comply. What's your ID? What's your badge number? You know, make them comply.
Well, there's only two things they're going to do. They're going to comply, or they're going to retaliate.
Double down on stupid. Either double down on stupid or comply. Chances are they double down on stupid, but they will, in the end, they'll have to comply by hook or by crook.
I agree. Horizon City. Well, he just left.
That's my man. I'm like, hey,
Horizon City, come back, man.
Come back. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
He'll come back.
Let's see what's up with the chat. It got like 50 something.
Let's see. Let's see if the chat. Hey, anybody in the chat, if you have any questions or anything that you want to discuss or talk about, you guys
put
are
them in the box.
To the stream.
Step on up. Join us in the
there he is.
social discourse.
Hey, what's up? What is good to have you, Horizon City. Everybody, thank you, Horizon City, for joining the live panel, man. I appreciate it. If you don't know, if you watch my page, you should know who Horizon City News Service is. If you don't know, then you need to go over there, like, share, and subscribe because you're late to the party. So,
yes, sir.
It's hard for me to hear. I've been trying to turn up the volume, so if I don't hear you, I might have to ask you to speak up. But
no, that's totally okay. So, no question, you got something that's coming up here, and we've been getting nitpickets of this information here and there, community post here, community post there. I've been hearing this stuff about this thing called the handshake. What is going on with the handshake? Tell people what's going on with the handshake.
Man. Handshake today, it'll be handcuffs tomorrow.
Handcuffs tomorrow, baby.
Did that shit not ring true though?
It is true. Won't you give people a little bit of insight of what you're working on and
bow tie that like
without giving up too much stuff, but
yeah, bow tie that like button, man. It's basically the progression of how that's my policy. You know, I don't shake hands. I don't fist bump. I don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, and that's been from the jump. You know what I'm saying? I respect officers. I respect what they do. I'm not a cop hater, but I know what their mission is. I know I done read your mission statement. So no, I ain't shaking your hand. I ain't fist bumping. I ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's basically the progression of it from the time I started doing it. And it's only been like since what? I don't even know, since September when I started doing this. You know what I'm saying? But just my interactions over the time, and I don't know why like they always trying to shake your hand and fist bump you.
It's
but
a form of submission.
Yeah, I guess, but
it's all a mind game with them
every single time. So that's the HT. I guess we can nickname it HT. Handshake today, handcuffs tomorrow. It's just a progression of what, you know, my interactions with my policy, and I'm pretty much finished with it. But I've just been having some technical difficulties with the laptop and everything. But as soon as I get it ready, trust me, y'all gonna be the first to see it.
Awesome. And won't you tell, and you don't have to tell us any information that you don't want to. You can always say, foul mouth veteran, you're a dumbass, shut the fuck up. But
no, never. Not even as a joke.
Why don't you tell the people, you were obviously live whenever you were there at the municipal court having to find out some information regarding your arrest. What was something that, if you'd like to share, what happened? Give us a result of what happened when you were in there and you were asked to plead.
Oh, okay, early this week.
Yes,
in court.
In court.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, I don't even know the judge's name. I'm guessing it's Kimble. I'm not even 100% sure, but you know, when y'all saw the live portion when the bailiff, and it's funny because that same bailiff, I'm finding out that that same bailiff is actually the head bailiff, the crybaby cop one in my videos. Y'all, I don't know if y'all seen that video, but the crybaby cop, he is the head bailiff for the judge, I guess the municipal judge, Judge Kimble. But y'all saw in the live video where he was like, you know, y'all got to take y'all phones to the car, take the phones to the
basically take them out of the building.
Check them in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know, so when we got in the courtroom, I actually they told us, like, you know, if you still got a phone, you need to go check it in. So I wrote, it's like, you got any questions? I'm like, do I have any questions? Hell yeah, I got some questions. I'm like, is that policy? That cell phone thing, is that policy or is that law? Like, oh, it says some policy. I said, so it's not law. Well, if you got any more questions, you can ask the judge.
I don't got any questions, but my phone is in my pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I'm like, and then he was like, because you're gonna have to empty your pockets and when you come up to the stand, I'm like, that sounds like a violation of my Fourth Amendment right there.
It is.
Like, am I under arrest? Are you what's going on? Like, what do y'all got going on up here? You know what I'm saying? But once I went up there to plea, I didn't say anything. I just was like, I'm not pleading. And he was like, all right, we'll enter a no not guilty plea on your behalf, and you can sit down.
So the judge pled for you.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure there's something in Texas state law that states that a judge cannot make a plea for you. Because then if he makes a plea for you, that means that he is agreeing to the contract, not you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, contract. He said the word. Contract.
He said the word. Because my mentality this whole time is like, I've been kidnapped. So why would I agree with anything that y'all got going on at this point? You know what I'm saying? I'm not pleading nothing. Like, I shouldn't even be here. Like, this ordinance, you didn't even bring up the fact that the ordinance is old as hell and is unconstitutionally vague. So why would I agree with anything you got going on? So once he pled on my behalf, and then he brought it to they brought me up to the clerk. She like, well, your court date is next month. Here, you can sign right here. I'm not signing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can do what y'all want. And then she just wrote refused on the paper. And I'm like, no, I'm not making no agreements. I'm not agreeing with nothing that y'all got going on, because it's still but to this point, it's still violation of my rights. Even up until this point, you guys are continuing to further the fuckery. Do you
feel that maybe the court is trying to push this so fast so they can get you cleared underneath the ordinance before the city council has an opportunity to try and take this unconstitutional ordinance off the books?
No, I don't think
that's the kind of feeling I get when you tell me things like that. They're trying to push you through so they can go ahead and get their pat on the back because it's still on the books. Before
let me ask this question to further. This will answer. Like, what this will give a really good clue of what I said before about the monetary gain. So, no question about it. My bro, tell us about the plethora of sorrow and sadness that you witnessed waiting for the abuse of the judge. What were the charges that you heard? Because I could tell you a couple that I read, and it's absolutely shameful.
Man, I swear, like I said, the judge was in there. Every other person that came up there. Oh, they arrested you for that? Littering. Gram of marijuana. The young 18-year-old kid come up there, gram of marijuana. Judge asking him, can you pass a piss test in a month? You know what I'm saying? On some petty marijuana charge, and I'm hearing like littering. I'm hearing like a gang of I'm just sitting in the courtroom like damn near in tears. I'm seeing all these young Black and brown people just getting arrested for petty ass offenses. I'm just sitting in the courtroom, just shaking my fucking head like, dude, this shit is ridiculous. Why am I here?
In Louisiana, it's even worse. They make them wear bright pink jumpsuits.
What?
Yeah, no, that's the piracy at its best. Hey, our guy, thank you for joining, our guy.
Our guy.
The thing is, it's not getting any better though, man. And it seems like no matter how hard we shove, the people shove back, and it's like the people are the ones that we're trying to win over. But there's people that just don't give a shit because they're either wives, husbands, cousins, brothers, and sisters of all these law enforcement officers. So we're getting kickback from all these people, not to mention everybody who's involved with government. Now, people don't realize how close-knit families are that were law enforcement and school board and school administration. They go one hand in hand. If not, they probably share the same churches. They probably share the same life groups. They probably share the same toilet. The thing is that they're so well connected that the school system can literally utilize local law enforcement as their personal thugs and gang members to
this
press
is because they
whatever
share the common council members and the mayor. You get it? They have their claws in the people in control, because again, they exert a certain amount of authority with the children and all.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
again, the methodology would be, again, the council, they have to submit to the people's will. And no, you ain't gonna get away with fuckery. And this is what the citizens are here for. We delegate our power to others, and that is like, no, you delegate the power to others, and you got to watch the others that you delegated that power to, because you're waiting in line for 2.5 hours at the DMV for the 5th fucking time this 5th month. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm really fucking losing it, because I shouldn't have to wait 5 days in the DMV for anything. I mean, it's absolutely no more court papers. Oh, they send you to the system. Go get more meaningless papers for nothing.
Yeah.
All right. To run them around. You know, when the people say enough, the people say stop. The people make ordinances that say that this is forbidden. No, you can't do this. No, you're not allowed to lie. You know, this is what we're looking for. This is change.
Well, let me give you an example, because a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, a lot of people complain about the school system, and a lot of them don't have kids in the school system. Well, let me tell you the reason why I pulled my kids out of the public school system over here at Belton School District. And I'm going to do it in the order that the incidents has happened. Well, we had a first incident that happened at one of the elementary schools, Charter Oak Elementary, matter of fact, where one of the staff members forcibly shoved my son's knee into one of the poles, trying to make him maintain social distance with another student that was sitting next to him in lunch. Yeah, so much to where it swelled my son's knee up. When we brought that to the leadership's attention at the school did nothing about it. So we brought it up to the human resources at Belton administration and spoke with the HR department there. They did nothing about it. Not even so much to bring charges upon the staff member that intentionally pushed my son's leg. And they were like, well, he didn't mean it maliciously. It doesn't matter if he meant it maliciously or not. The fact that he showed intent to do that act is the problem and is a violation of the law. That was the first incident. The second incident happened where another student sexually assaulted my 6-year-old daughter. Okay. The school board did nothing about that. It happened not once, but it happened twice. My daughter was sexually assaulted twice by another student at Charter Oak Elementary at Belton School District. And I noted, I told the principal there, I told the HR department there, and they did nothing about it but sweep it under the rug. All right.
What?
Yes. Yes. And I don't want to start naming names, but I got paperwork, I got video evidence, and I got all this stuff that I've been gathering for the past, I don't know how long. And then I'm going to start making videos and putting them on blast.
Good.
Okay.
Why
Yes,
not?
so the second, there's another incident. This is all at Charter Oak Elementary. The fourth incident happened. I was going up there to pick up my kids, and I overheard some ladies in the nursing room saying some pretty nasty, vulgar things as it pertained to racially profiled people, such as, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. They were saying some pretty nasty things about Hispanics and Mexicans. At that time, there was a lot of people coming over the border. They were saying some pretty nasty racial things. Well, when I brought it to the front desk attention, said, hey, are you not going to hold them accountable for saying such and such? Instead of holding the people that were in that nursery room accountable, they trespassed me.
Well, of course.
Wow.
They trespassed me. When I brought it to the HR department, they were like, they said, oh, we did our investigation. We didn't find anything. But they trespassed me because I brought it to their attention because I overheard what I overheard.
But
So you gotta go
between
up in
us,
there with
the
the
only
fucking
legitimate
campus road.
solution would be to, the court system for all this kind of stuff. Because again, you can't trust an agency to investigate itself, to come to any conclusions of wrongdoing. And it's again, government takes care of government, and the corporation, again, the government is a corporation, the city is a corporation, the police are a corporation. Corporate law 101, the corporation takes care of the corporation. The only reason that anybody that works in a corporation has child care or any benefits, it's because it suits the corporation. They keep you there longer. In the end, it costs them less money to run their business if you get to look at your kids. What they're not stupid, unless you're a governmental agency. Shit moves very slowly there,
Yeah, not to mention this was the same school where the parents were saying the teachers were saying some pretty nasty things about the parents in the community about how they just wanted their babysitters back when that stuff was happening. So I can tell you right now, just in the communication that I had today, with the high school. So I pulled my little ones out. My son is part of the National Honor Society. He does the college program here at the Lake Belton High School. And he's had a little girl that likes him, but he doesn't like her because he has a girlfriend. And she went and lied about him, not once, but twice, about some allegations. There was an investigation on both. Both times it took my son a week out of his education. He was not allowed to go to certain classes because that female was there. So come to find out, after their investigation, the girl come out and find out and finally said, no, I lied about it. And her father knew about it. Her father has had the same issue with her at other schools and have had other investigations that this female has lied about other students, not to mention male, but female. Her father knew about it. She admitted it. And yet the school board is doing nothing to hold her accountable for taking my son's education and probably defaming his name and his character in that school and in this community.
Well, see, that's why it's important that we educate our children on, you know, I talk to my son all the time, you know, he in high school as well. Like, you know, you got to tell them I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a teacher. I don't care if it's a student. I don't care if it's a damn security guard. Anybody alleging that you did anything, anybody accusing you of something, pull out your camera and start recording their ass.
Absolutely.
Start asking questions. Call your parents. Get this shit on record, because people out here violating left and right. It don't just have to be the police, it's teachers, is staff, is people violating, kids getting violated up in the schools. Like you can't do that. You got to teach your kids to be smart. Pull out that fucking camera and put it in their face. Ask that question. Say it again. What did you just say?
Yep.
Start
Put them on
putting
blast, man.
Well, what we need to do is we need to start educating our high school level and even our junior high school level kids about their civil rights and how to stand for them, man.
Because from the little bit, home, you gotta start at home, and you know, you teach your kids the right thing. You teach your kids the moral thing. They'll do what they want when they're older, but again, you gotta lay that base at home. You can't trust anybody to teach your fucking kids except mom and dad, and dad is always the best because hey, I'm a dad.
Yeah, dads are cool, man.
Dads make big smoke.
Horizon City.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. So Horizon City had an incident that happened to him. I think it was on the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay, he had an incident to where he happened to him on the 5th. Horizon City was doing some grocery shopping, and of course, security guard goes to go up there and mess with this man for no reason whatsoever. And like I said, if you don't know who Horizon City News Service is by now, you need to go over to his channel. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And you're late to the party because this guy does a lot of good work, and he's really putting out there. And I'm gonna tell you something right now about Horizon City. He's the only guy out there in El Paso doing the work that he's doing right now. The only one in El Paso. And you know what? This man has been chastised, harassed, and retaliated against from every local law enforcement in that area. So you got to give Horizon City News a thumbs up, a sub, and make sure you share his content. He's doing great work. But hey, Horizon, tell us about the incident that happened. What's going on, D. Johns? Thanks for joining. Hey, watching Waco. I know you got an incident. If you want to come up and chat, man, join up. Horizon City, tell us about the incident that happened over there not too long ago, man, if you posted, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, and I feel less stressed about it now because it's been a few days now. So that's a good thing. But basically, and by the way, it was a police officer, not a security guard. But he was a police officer, a detective, actually, who was in uniform. And he was trying to, like, merge the title of Walmart representative with the police department. Like he wanted to use the shopkeeper's privilege to have me trespass with no explanation. But at the same time, he wanted to threaten me with arrest as a police officer. So he wanted to have the best of both worlds.
Right.
And I don't know how the law even looks at that, because that's a real gray area. Because
I didn't see no body cam or nothing either.
What's that?
I didn't see no body cam on his chest or nothing.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Horizon City Police Department is one of the agencies in this county that actually has body cameras, and they actually have a written policy about when they're supposed to be wearing them, which is anytime they exit their vehicle. Now, I don't know if there's a special exception if these guys are working at a private business if they are allowed to take it off. But you're right. That was something I noticed as well. And when I noticed it, it was when I was watching the video. I was like, God damn, I'm glad I was recording because he didn't have the body cam. And when the whole event was happening, of course, my heart was pumping. I didn't pay attention. But then when I watched the video, I was like, well, it's a good thing I recorded because Walmart's not going to give me their video,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they won't. Yeah. Well, see, and that's a question I have for you right there, Horizon, is if he is in his official capacity, he was in uniform and he was on duty. Was he on duty at the time for the police station and then still being a representative for Walmart, or was he on duty working for Walmart? See, that's the question.
That's the big question.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, I know from the on duty, off duty, and the extra work kind of thing, they all have to technically be on duty to have basic insurance,
to have that fucking
stuff like
uniform on.
that. They all have to be on duty in a certain form to just have. What if something happens? What if he has a car crash? He doesn't have insurance. The city has insurance on the car. Well, they don't even have insurance. They'd rather pay out. But again, it's what the hell happens, and he got a gun too. It's not his gun technically; it's somebody else's gun. So it gets pretty involved. But there has to be an on-duty status, even if he's doing extra work. If he's got the uniform on, he had to sign in someplace.
Yeah, there's
no doubt about it.
Got to be something. Yeah,
and I'm sure his protocols go with him no matter what he's doing, because he's a sworn officer of the law. And with that, he has to obey certain conditions. I mean, okay, he doesn't have to obey. They're written. I'm like being obvious. You know what I'm saying? They're written down in a book if he does or doesn't. And I also know about the body cam issue. I've seen that in the Killeen internal affairs laws and rules and regulations, that they have pretty stringent regulations of body cam and complaints and a whole bunch of stuff like that. It should all be written someplace.
Well, yeah, in the state of Texas, every police department gets to make up their own policies.
I know it would be in the Horizon City PD. If you could get the code of conduct for the police department, I would be more than happy to run through it and try and bust their asses as often as possible.
I appreciate that, because that's definitely what I'm doing. Yeah,
I'm still waiting for the Killeen one.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that what we should all do is if we're operating in an area, the first thing we need to do is start pulling professional standards and code of conduct's handbook, identify the internal affairs.
Absolutely.
Officer, not the enlisted, but the bars, and then that's who you communicate with, because the sergeant's not going to tell you shit but blow smoke.
No, you don't. You need officers. Again, the responsibility is different,
right?
And the knowledge base is totally different. And I mean, in the Army or the service, you go to the officer. You don't want to talk to fish. This guy is responsible. So you start at the lieutenant or a captain, even better. Aim high. Aim high.
Well, I haven't filed any complaints at this point. All I've done so far is open record requests. So
you should do your research first, and do it methodically.
Right.
Find out the conditions, this, that, and the other thing. Not only that, if you could recreate the situation with an alternate summation, we could call it.
Yeah.
That would be interesting too. Like I told my brother, no questions, dude. We got to take a couple of FMV things, and you do the same speak with the same cop, and you look at the difference. You know what I'm saying? Just for to mix up this shit bucket a little bit, and you'll see the difference is amazing, because I've seen it in the questions that he asked. Because FMV will get the number of the call and all that information, but interestingly enough, no questions about it, has to go to the station to get it.
Yep. And that was a perfect point. That happened in Harker Heights. It was actually, you said that, Mazanga. And you know what? I went up there and talked to, you know who I talked to, Mr. Lawrence, no question. We got that resolved. And actually, Lawrence was the one that actually understood it from our first interaction. And I have a video up of that. And he actually fixed it and went over there and gave no question and did the right thing. And even after that, educated his staff about, hey, no, you can't do that. This guy came in here. You should have just answered him. And Mr. Lawrence verified to me after I had a conversation with him that he would go ahead and train his staff, because he's the head guy, that he would go ahead and train the staff there at Harker Heights to do the right thing and continue to do it from here on out. So first, let me take a short break. Let me tell all my moderators, you guys are badass. I appreciate every one of you.
Yeah, let's get some questions from the chat, man. We neglecting the chat right now.
I got a question for you.
Go get them.
No, really, I do, because this is the question that the people want to ask. Nah. Okay, so legit question. This could be for anybody, but I think it more pertains to no question. What do you want to see? No question. What do you want to see change in the KPD and or in Killeen City? Do you see yourself involved in that change? And do you see how do you see yourself achieving that goal if you are involved?
Well, it's too many things to name right now, but for the main thing, I need, I preach it in my videos. We need to see some more. We need to see more transparency. We need to be able to come to a scene and without fear of getting our fucking head beat in and getting arrested for asking questions. We need to be able to get some fucking incident numbers. We need to be able to come to the scene in our own communities and ask questions without having to get our fucking head beat in or arrested or fucking chastised. Or we need to fucking get a supervisor on the scene when we request it. Simple shit that you should already be doing.
I'm the supervisor. Pew pew. I'm the supervisor.
I ain't disrespecting your ass.
Yep.
I ain't berating your ass. I'm just asking questions. Let me get a supervisor on the scene because you're making a big fucking mistake. Simple shit. Where was the fucking lieutenant? Where was the commander? Where was the leadership? We need some fucking leadership on the Killeen Police Department. And this shit is getting ridiculous. Like, I see this shit every single night. I'm out there recording. I see this shit. I'm asking the questions. Some people say I might be antagonizing. This shit is going on in my community. Why shouldn't I be able to ask questions? Why shouldn't I be able to inform my people what the fuck their rights are?
Yep.
Asking questions is never antagonizing to anybody. Yeah.
Why can't I go to internal affairs and ask questions and answers?
Well, the thing
you were in his elevator without permission. That's why the chief didn't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? You were in his elevator in his building without permission. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
The thing is that a lot of these law enforcement now, and they want to call it modern policing or whatever, they need to update that shit. But the problem is that anytime. So law enforcement, and this is going to go into my next fucking topic that we're going to talk about, and it's called presumed authority and the power play. Okay, that's what
I like that title. I like that title.
Yeah, the reason why
I like that title.
Hey, before we do that,
I mean, that's what it is.
The chat though, we neglected the chat for about a whole hour now.
No, the chat hasn't asked me any questions.
What they saying?
I just wanted to
keep an eye on it. I had to get a few trolls that they formed.
I just wanted to interject to this discussion that yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, me and No Questions were streaming in the Discord, and I showed him a video of mass accountability. Remember that black assistant police chief? Hi, I'm progressive white man. Yeah, I'm in Florida. Yeah, just ask us and we'll give you the answer. Oh, would you like the case number? Here it is on the walkie-talkie. Right. We saw that. Biggest pile of fucking smoke blowing up somebody else's ass. But you know what? Good for you, police chief. At least he knows, to do his job at a professional level.
Basic shit.
And it was awesome.
Basic shit.
Yep. Except a little lower down, he was still going with that ID and what's your name and what's your channel trick. Yep. But again, and then the commando showed up and the chief had to stop him. Hi there, young man. Oh no, you could go back to patrolling with the dog that we were about to set on these lightweight passes. Right. Yep. So the difference in the pan is very interesting, and fine, corrupt liars. All right, good for you. At least do your job professionally. At least.
But to finish your question, as far as myself being involved in the change, I'm willing to do whatever. Like I'm open to having discussions. I'm open to having open dialogue. I'm open to having anybody that have a problem with what I do. Come on this panel, get your ass on the fucking on the camera, and let's talk about it. What's going on? Like I don't have a problem with going to the police station and having a real conversation. It's gonna be on camera, but let's have a conversation. Let's find out what's going on in this department. And I don't have to disrespect you. You don't have to disrespect me. Let's talk. We don't have to discuss my situation. Let's talk about what's going on in this department and let's get some shit accomplished.
No, I agree. I think there's a lot of other things that are going on in the department and going on with the training, at least with the way that law enforcement are being trained here in Killeen. And I've heard some of them say that they've heard a little bit about the First Amendment. And I heard a lot of the Killeen officers say they actually watch our content, man.
They do. It's been around. They know, no questions. They know you. They know a couple of people pretty well. And from what I've seen, their mindset is kind of clicking, and it's it's an introspective moment that one can actually see their own fuck ups, and observe the things not to do. Like a parent is a good example of what you should do, but they're also a good example of what not to do. So again, I think that the ones that know how to do their job, and again, that have a moral problem with what they do, have understood. By not wanting to understand, they've seen it, and they're like, you know what? We'll give you that. We'll give you that. Because I kind of thought that the policeman, I was pissed that he called you your name, but he did show respect, and he said that he admired what you do. All right. I don't think that was smoke,
Yeah, I don't think it was smoke either. I definitely not. I'm not thankful for being transparent. You know what I'm saying? Just like I do with all the cops. Anytime I give respect, I give it back.
Yep.
I'm not out there just antagonizing cops and berating them. I'm out there asking real questions. Shout out to Rising City News. He just posted the video about the hot boy, Killeen, Kyle Moore. That was really good video, and I was literally driving when I started posting. I was listening to it as I'm driving. Like that video brought me to tears. I'm like, no, like this, like it ain't all bad. It's like, shout out to Kyle Moore. He doing the right thing. I interjected. I did the exact same thing that I was arrested for, but he was arrested the whole time.
It's funny because that ordinance has been in freaking Killeen for 60 plus years. It was revised 20 years ago. Like at what point
when Hill passed.
Well, this is what I think. I think that if that ordinance was put into place 60 years ago, there's got to be some type of thought process behind that ordinance. Maybe that cops at that time 60 years ago were pulling people over and the passenger was like, oh no, my guy wasn't speeding. Maybe it's one of those contempt of cop charges that if the passenger says no, I'm not IDing because I know my rights, then all of a sudden they can just hook them up on some
interfering
bullshit. You spoke while I was talking to your driver during this traffic stop, so automatically you're guilty, class C. Let's go ahead and just throw you in jail. Because everybody knows in Texas that even a traffic ticket is an arrestable offense in Texas. So it is too easy for a cop to use that bullshit ass ordinance 16-107. Hey, sir, you know why I was speeding? Which we know they ask invading questions. You know what I mean?
No, sir. Why? What? How fast?
Do you know how fast you were going, sir?
Yeah.
How heavy is that piece of lead you call a foot, sir?
Do you know why I pulled you over? No, I don't. Like, I'm sure you
where are you coming from? Where are you going? I can say one absurd thing about that ordinance, to be honest. If you look at the history of it,
that ordinance, I guarantee you that ordinance has been abused in those 60 years. Who knows how many times? And how many people have been arrested on that ordinance in the past 60 years that didn't know their rights and just sat there and paid the fine? How much money did they make off that ordinance?
So this is one of the parts of the investigation that I'm kind of looking at. Is that absolute ordinance, and I want the history of it. I want everybody who signed it, any revision to it, who's responsible for bringing it to the council. Not only that, Dallas versus Hill was in 1987. In 1987,
you keep saying
versus
Dallas,
Hill.
Houston versus Hill.
Houston versus Hill was in 87, and in 87 was the last update to that ordinance that they made, which they actually should have taken it off the books after the Supreme Court's decision on the absolute vague condition that they set with no presumption of use of speech only, like it's written in the state code, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
No, it is. No, it is. And hopefully we can get the ordinance taken away and no questions, charges dropped. No question. Here's a question for you, bro. Ted, Yellow Cat. Ooh, I love me some yellow cats, bro. If you ain't been fishing, let me tell you what, big good eating right there. Okay. They have memorials for fallen officers. Let me see if I can pin this. Let me pin this real quick.
Yeah, do that.
Right. Okay. So they have memorials for fallen officers. They don't care if they're good or bad cops. I agree. How about a memorial for people, good or bad, that have died in police custody? Let them see it every day. You know what? Especially if it's a wrongful death.
No matter.
There would be a way to get that approved as a statue for the city or a work of art in a square, to be honest.
Let's put them same stones right there in front of the Killeen Police Department like they got all the fallen officers.
We could do that. We could do that. And then I like what ex-bootlicker says. Because of that ordinance, we need to find out when we're going to start getting our refund checks for that fucking ordinance.
I was also thinking of looking within the last 2 years who's been arrested on that ordinance and actually trying to get in touch with them and tell them that, hey, dude, did you know your rights were violated? Tell me what day it happened. I'll pull the tape and, hey, 50-50 split on the federal lawsuit. Okay, I'll give you the civilian part. I want a piece of the federal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a boat and his chick. Yeah. And the car too. That's all I want. That's it.
I want the motherfucking stripes.
Everybody gets what they want in the federal lawsuit, believe me. So again, the whole thing is the consequences. I think the way it's being done currently is very good because people get to see what's going on. Everybody says they do this, they do that in the papers. Hey, watch this. The first time you got to court, it took a month. The next time, it's a month and a half. You hope that's it, because the next time it could take 2-3 years for the police stuff, the malfeasance of the police to be cleared up legally, and then it's your turn. Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't know. So let me ask you guys, are you guys on the panel? Because, this is what I want to know. We go out and we do our activism, and we go out and we show every bit of ourselves, whether that's positive or negative, and we can be transparent with ourselves. What do y'all think about the people that go and speak to the city council against us, like the gentleman that spoke on the city council before? I mean, what do you think about, honest to God, what do you guys think about
little old Billy?
Because a lot of people think I hear it all the time, is a lot of people think, oh, these guys are just for money and for clicks and views. And if you guys don't know by now that are not in the world, unless you have 200,000 subscribers, you ain't making
no money.
You ain't making shit. You're not even making $100 a month. And guess what? That's not going to take you to date night no more.
No, sir.
Oh, no, FMV. Don't pop the illusionary bubble of wealth. No.
So a lot of you people that think that some of us don't have jobs, some of us build homes for all you other fucks to go live in.
And some of us don't have jobs.
Yeah, some of us don't have jobs. Absolutely.
Some of us don't have jobs. Yeah.
Like I said, that is my motherfucking 9 to 5 is putting the goddamn camera on these cops. If y'all ain't giving me no fucking job, then what you think I'm gonna do? I got all the time in the world to put cops on these, put cameras on their ass. You know what I'm saying? So unless you're gonna give me a fucking job, then shut the fuck up and let me do what I do.
Right. John
Support
Eagle
your local artists. Yeah.
John Eagle here. John says, I hate that here in South Carolina, give body cam footage to the public, even if you requested to have an attorney. Texas actually came out last year with some more revised information under 552.001. So if you guys need the new handbook, I got the new handbook for the Public Information Act. But they come out. So now getting body cam footage and anything like that, you have to have more specific information, time, date. There has to be a person in there. So they revised it in the Texas handbook for 2020 for PIA requests for Texas.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Body camera requests are not done through the Texas Public Information Act. They did a sneaky trick. You have to request it through the occupations code.
The occupations code?
Yeah. Now, why they did that, in my opinion, is because it's a deliberate sneak tactic so that people get confused and then improperly submit an open records request. For the government knows what you want, but then they're gonna trip you up on the technicalities. It's happened with me before. Some of the lawyers and government agencies are aware of it, and some of them just go ahead and give the video anyway because they are trying to be transparent. But some of them get real technical and they say, "Oh well, this open records request is denied because it wasn't filed properly." And they say, "Oh, well,
they send you bullshit emails with their lawyers," and I've spoke about that earlier on one of the KPD's posts. Like, why should I even have to submit a FOIA request when I got fucking 3 cops right on the scene who failing to identify themselves? But you know what the fuck is going on the scene? Like, I'm literally standing in front of you. Why do I have to go to drive 20 minutes to the station to fill out a request and then wait 10 more days to get an email from some bullshit lawyers saying why they can't give me the information I requested when you could have gave me the information in 5 minutes on the scene?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're just like any other criminal. They're not gonna willingly incriminate themselves. They're gonna make you work for every piece of information.
I've seen them willingly incriminate themselves on no questions, witness stand pieces for sure. They just
in 2 minutes though on that
they get
video.
themselves into so much fucking trouble. I love that shit, man.
Well, that's by accident. Like, they don't deliberately. Yeah.
No, they're like trying to jaw jack you and stuff like that, trying to feed you some rope, and they're like, making it extra tight on themselves. But I do have respect for that captain or colonel or whatever he was late at night, that fat man. You know what? Knowledge, professionalism. He don't like you, it doesn't. Whatever, that don't matter. He was right on the money. Very professional, And I hope you only have meetings with police like that for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking professional.
Right.
I wanted to bring up the topic of the Facebook post while we was on it. How like a lot of people don't know that those posts are those channels or those pages are public record.
Oh, the Facebook pages.
Any pages that's ran by government officials.
Yeah, so I looked into that. So if a municipality or a law enforcement agency, we'll just call them corporations because that's what the fuck they are.
They are.
Law enforcement.
And it would be quasi-public if it's private entity that serves the public trust. It would already. So Facebook is a quasi-public company. Just hope you know that, which falls under a lot of public law, which is kind of funny if you ask.
Well, what I figured out is that, and I'm pretty sure everybody already knows this, but if a law enforcement corporation in your town is stealing money from your people and they post it on Facebook and have a Facebook page for that law enforcement corporation, that page is public domain. Therefore, that if you post anything on that page and they delete it, that's a violation of your First Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
Because that page is domain. That is public. And public
can't even legally, Facebook can't even delete it. No matter what you post there, that is the one place that Facebook should not even be able to touch because of the quasi-public nature of the data. And this goes to like the Data Protection Act. That's kind of a worldwide thing. The United States signed into this worldwide Data Protection Act, where it's like also is like a HIPAA is a derivative of this, about your personal information. And yeah, it works all over. I could tell you that from, a pretty far away. You know what I'm saying? The law is very similar. The language might vary or nothing, but everybody has to sign these treaties to be called a free society.
What the hell our guy doing? He over there in the black.
Yeah, I know, right? In and out, in and
I'm
out.
outside.
Oh, you're outside.
I'm
How
outside.
you doing, our guy? Thanks for joining, bud. What do you want to speak on, our guy? Let us know, man. Give us some of that our guy knowledge.
So I did my first live about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. How did it go?
It wasn't much. There's about 15 cop cars out at my job, so I just posted it up. I don't know why they arrested the man for. He had no place on his car or anything like that. His 5 different agencies had precinct 3 for Montgomery County Sheriff, Harris County Sheriff. So yeah, he busted something, but he's already getting hooked and booked. When I showed up, he's already been thrown in the back of the car. So
that's already a
short
good condition for conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? You got 2-3 agencies involved. Fuckery's afoot.
Montgomery County. Where is that at?
That's
north of Houston. About an hour north.
Here's a question. This is a Ted Yellowcat. Man, we got to go fishing. That's a good question. The Texas
we were
Ranger,
talking about hunting the other day.
Oh, where'd it go?
Scroll down a little bit.
There it goes. The Texas Rangers are required by law to investigate corruption, public corruption unit, and public integrity unit. What can we do to make them at least staff someone to answer the phone? Dude, because of COVID and all that stuff, they literally cut a lot of people out of the way. Like that's not the only place that they're not answering phones, man. Like this COVID shit has been an excuse for everyone that works for the public officials not to do their job properly.
Yeah.
It is literally an excuse.
To do their jobs as they used to would be very inefficiently and not let you in the building to take care of what you needed to. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't change the work practices.
The other day, it was 20 people in line, but only one person in the booth.
Yeah, it was one person. And I've been there before all the COVID, and usually they staff 3 because I did have a GT 350 and I did get speeding tickets quite often. So dude, I was getting so many tickets, I just sold it. I was like, it's not even worth it anymore. I could not drive that car around and enjoy it because I would anytime, even if I was going 5 over, get rolled. It's like, dude, I'm going 5 over. Yeah, but you're going 5 over. It's like the motherfucker blew past me. A van just blew past me. An Astro just blew past me. What the fuck?
Red car?
Yeah, race red.
There you go, man.
5.2 flat plane.
The car doesn't have to go fast to scream at the police, No, it does it all by itself.
Hey, see,
Leo.
What up, people?
How you doing, Leo?
Hey, what's up, Authority Kick?
That's my guy.
Joe Cool. What's up, Joe Cool?
My man.
Joe Cool in the house.
All right.
I said Joe Cool the link. I need.
Oh yeah, they're deleting them.
I always love it when Joe Cool hangs around like all these interesting, well-educated people, and I sent Joe Cool the link real quick because I was like, Joe Cool got to see this shit.
He'll come on and say, "Hey, baby, be nice." Yeah, Joe Cool is awesome. I loved his last video, especially the references.
I tell Horizon and FMV all the time, like I'm just a rights exercise. I go out there and I just film. Like y'all the white guys that really know a lot more of the laws and everything. I got into this so I can learn my rights. I didn't know my shit. I always tell people don't do anything. What I did shit ass backwards. Learn your shit first before you get out there.
Well, that would be the smart way to go, and we've always decided that, people and stuff, there's always a wrong example to taking it for a lesson. So, yeah, do your homework before you go out to the schoolyard, that's for sure.
What'd you say,
Horizon? Don't do what I did.
Well, I don't know.
Do I
thought I watched a lot of people don't realize I watched Authority Check. I watched a lot of you guys for a long, long time before I even decided to pick up a camera. But you got to understand that before I picked up a camera, my wife would get upset because I'd get so upset at the violations that I saw that I'd start cussing and screaming at my computer you know, and then I would rant and rave for 20 minutes in the house, like, fuck police, you know, they don't do nothing but violate people. And, you know, I picked up a camera to show, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I like to be transparent. I was on the fence. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Foul-mouthed veteran was on the fence at one point and got off the fucking fence real quick once he found out where these guys really fucking stand. And to be honest with you, man, they're not for you, man. They're really not. So let's just be truthful 100%. If when they're legally allowed to lie, and they lie to you in your face and then they stab you in the back, that says something about that corporation and how they're running it.
Mm-hmm. And then they smiling in your face the whole time.
Yeah, they are.
Yep, touching that old booty hole, giving you all a reach around, and you didn't even know it was going on. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, bend over.
I've been doing this for, I don't know, less than 25, 26 years, something like that. And it has only served me well to catch them lying SOBs, trying to mess with you behind your back. And I got a good mini microphone. It'll catch you 4 rooms away. I mean, you're toast. Because, hey, I can record myself as much as I want to. So again, you know, save my son. I told the story, and I'm telling you, man, you got to know your shit. It'll save your ass. And especially nothing speaks like a recording. That's it.
That's how I kind of got started. You know what I'm saying? I was watching a lot of people. My man's SJVT. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying the game. Like when I was on that interview with Killeen Daily Herald, they asked me like, what are you? What kind of background do you have in law? I'm like, shit, YouTube University, motherfucker. I see that shit in play every day. You know what I'm saying? I see. What's my man from out there in Maryland? His name is escaping me right now. A Young City.
Yeah, Young City.
A Young City out there giving motherfuckers the business. I see Joe Cool out there talking that good shit.
Hell
I see
yeah.
violating out there left and right. So I'm studying all these people and I'm taking notes. I'm seeing the foul-mouthed veteran out there and I'm seeing Horizon City News with the boots. You know what I'm saying? As soon as the video come on, you see the boots. And you know, you know what I'm saying? So I'm paying attention to all my Texas people, especially. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking notes, and I'm like, man, should I? Next thing you know, I see them cherries and berries. My man found my veteran came out for the cherries and berries. I see the cherries and berries. So I'm like, damn, should I do it? Should I?
This is when we exit the car, young man. This is when we use the force. No questions. Use the force.
And so I just, taking notes, and I build the confidence. So obviously you got to know what you're talking about when you get out there. Well, you don't really have to know what you're talking about. You just got to know the law, and you got to know what you're doing.
Prime example is you knew what you were talking about, and you got busted by Pew Pew Peterson. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Pussy Patterson. You
are under arrest.
Hey, I don't need a supervisor. I don't need a supervisor.
I'm the supervisor.
You see that? 2 strikes on my sleeve. Motherfucker, get your goddamn balls down.
And we're still running after the policy of how you get a supervisor. Ain't I right? No questions? This is the question of the week. How do you get a supervisor?
That is the question of the week.
Yeah, it hasn't been answered maybe 4 or 5 times already.
Almost got an answer, but I was at the Killeen police station. But then that's when somebody interjected.
Yep.
He never got a chance to answer. But
yeah, we think he got fired also for being so nice to you too.
Should that
I'm gonna have to check on him next time I go up there. I'm gonna have to check on him.
That was a video that I watched. Joe Cool actually put up a video where everybody went to fucking jail. Everybody went to jail in that video. I was like, damn, boy, everybody got warrants. That motherfucker, dude. Took a whole fucking lot of people. That's the thing though, and I want to go back to what no question. That just took us off subject, but I'm gonna go back on subject. There's one thing. See, look, check it out. I got this little thumb drive with my car when I bought it.
Cool.
Nice. I got a whole box, dude.
With that Cobra
certificate, a 1-year class to the fucking to a racetrack and all that. But the thing is that we, like you said, you watched a bunch of people. I watched a bunch of people. I watched Authority Check. I watched Joe Cool. I watched James Madison. I watched everybody that I could think
Gotta
of.
throw out Zebra's name. Gotta throw out Zebra's name. I gotta props
Okay.
to the GOAT.
Zebra, yep.
He's like he got his shit down. He is solid, and he catches them. Oh my god! Oh my god! And he does up narration. I love his shit, man.
A lot of the videos that I see, and the here ones recently, there's a lot of them from a lot of the big auditors or the activists that I see, to where you could see the change in the department's attitude because they'll do follow-up videos in those areas to where they've made change. And then you'll go and you'll see videos like ours, and we go and try to do change in our area, which we're doing now, but the progression seems to be a lot slower because we don't have the size of community to back us like a lot of the bigger channels. So we're more dependent on each other as activists, such as I'm dependent on No Question, so forth, back and forth, back and forth. They're more dependent on each other to do the homework and make the phone calls and do the change that we're really trying to push. And it would help a lot if we got a little bit more of the community's support to help make the change in their community, because they live there. We live there as well, but we want to help make that change. Killeen is just the first stop. If Harker Heights does the same thing, we're gonna try to fix Harker Heights. If Temple does the same thing, Belton is already on the list. There's a lot of places in the Central Texas area that we have, or in Texas in general, and Authority Check knows what I'm talking about because they were crazy shit in Corrigan and LaPorta and all that craziness.
Yeah, Corrigan.
Horizon crazy in El Paso.
Wow.
But Texas being
like for example, the whole thing with Corrigan, like we had one person, who was it, that was hanging out with Ninja, Damage Beyond Repair, was hanging out with Ninja, right? And had gone up there, had gone to Houston, because I guess he's out in East Texas somewhere. So we went down to Houston to go hang out with Ninja for a little bit. On the way home, he's like, fuck it, I'll go do an audit real quick. He goes out to Corrigan, bam, he gets fucking arrested, ticketed, and then released. Well, come to find out, our boy America over there, he's actually in that same area. He got arrested like 2 weeks before it, doing one of what I call a lock watch, or actually just Pullen called it a lock watch. So he got arrested. All he did was do the same shit. He walked up to a car in the same department. He's looking in, and he sees that it's unlocked. He hits the door jam, and it opens up just like a smidge, a crack. And then so after all of this, our boy HBO Matt got a hold of what's his name, Batalicide, and fucking called them up, say, hey, look, this is all the shit that's got going on. So it's a chain reaction, and had one person not done something and got in contact with another person who didn't get in contact with the next person, I don't know if it would have turned out that way.
Right. That's the point that I'm trying to drive right there, is that at least here in Texas and AC and everybody and AC knows what I'm talking about. Everyone in that chat, they know what's up, and we got each other's backs. And I can't say that I've been with a good group of guys before. I've been deployed with guys before, but being here and having the type of people that operate the way that they do, and you guys know who I'm talking about because you guys are in that chat. There's a reason why I stay grounded and continue to support all you guys across the board, because I see the true change and see the mindset. I've talked to you guys. I've seen the thought process. I've seen the reasoning behind it. And you know what? I'm 100% for it. I support you guys 100%. I think I'm probably maybe one of the only ones that doesn't have a reason why, particularly with an involvement regarding the police, such as an unlawful arrest or anything like that, is the reasoning why I picked it up. I picked up a camera because I saw law enforcement agency abusing their authority to people here in the community, and I don't like that. It's not about the black, the white, and all that. It's about the injustice, and the injustice doesn't show any color. And whenever when we the people or my fellow Americans are being harassed, oppressed, and intimidated for the sole purpose of cowardice, safety, and feelings, there's a problem. Monetary gain. Yeah, and then when they're being conditioned, and when I see the people being conditioned and being rewarded their civil rights for their mere what's the word that I'm looking for the mere compliance with your local government. That's absurd. For anybody to think that they have civil rights only pertain to the compliance with your government and their unlawful demands, that's not the way it works. Dude, your civil rights are your civil rights, your God-given rights. You shouldn't have to bend over backwards for nobody to get those. Those are yours by the right of God. And if you don't exercise those and you're willing to surrender those at a whim's notice, then I don't think you deserve it to begin with.
No. You sure don't.
Again, like Ben Franklin, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think the easiest way I've always put it is I'm not down for the police for profit.
What was that, AC?
I said the way I've always put it is the easiest way I've always put it is I'm not down for the police for profit. You know, so there are times I've pulled over. Andre fucking did the first like he was one of the first people that like replay one of my videos. You know, I did a traffic stop in Odom, and he fucking the officer jumped out of her vehicle. You know, it's somebody traveling down the road, and okay, maybe ran a stop sign, maybe fucking was going a little too fast. So why do you need to look in the guy's camper? You had no probable cause to go looking in his fucking camper. So as I'm recording, you know, she's getting all pissed off because I'm recording, you know, and then of course I got her all fucking triggered because of that. And you remember that video, Andre, right?
Yeah, in the background as she's shouting is a donut shop.
Yep. Of all the places where the car was pulled over, at a fucking donut shop.
Hell yeah.
Why they violating the Sandra Bland Act? You know, Sandra Bland is really my motivation. You know what I'm saying? When I'm out there, I'm very conscious of that Sandra Bland Act. You can't turn the fucking broken tail light to a fucking vehicle search.
Right. I saw that video too, man. I saw that video, and I don't know if that lady gave, and this goes back to volunteering your rights. I don't know if she gave them consent or not.
She probably did.
But even then, though, I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And I know you have. I've seen it to where they're like, "Oh, your registration's out. Hey, I see something in your car that gives me probable cause to go and search your car."
That's what it was.
I smell marijuana. I smell marijuana.
I saw something that resembles a baggie of marijuana. Like, what the fuck does that look like? And then did it have marijuana in it or no? If you saw a baggie, that fucking baggie could be used for anything. So why would you use that excuse to ramble through this woman's prized possessions? You pulled her over for a broken tail light. Why is you going through this woman's car because you saw something that resembles a baggie of marijuana? Did it have marijuana in it or no?
No, it's what it is. Let me clarify that for you. It's the presumption that the Blue Line Gang has. It's their presumption that every one of us citizens are the enemy. We're automatically guilty of something because everybody's doing something unlawful, right? Because I've heard that from cops' mouths all the time. You know, everybody's guilty of something. It's the presumed mindset that you're guilty of something. I'm going to keep questioning you and hold you and detain you until I find out what it is and then throw you in jail, even though you've done nothing wrong. It's the mindset that they think that everybody's automatically guilty of something instead of encouraging, hey, you know, you don't have to give me your ID, but hey, I'm requesting it. You don't ever hear a cop say that. Hey, you're in the passenger seat. Hey, you don't have to give me your ID, but I'm requesting it. You see what I'm saying?
This is part of the procedure that needs to be changed is the cop, how he asks his questions and what he's exactly permitted to do. And this lying facet of the cop's job has to be done away with, because you can't have a public servant that comes up and lies to you about everything. I mean, I've seen absolutely atrocious videos that they're based no resemblance in the fact that in the end, the guy like gets shot over nothing. I mean, not even like a traffic stop. They're walking down the street and the cop sees him and asks him a question. Astonished. Something procedurally has to change. I was talking to No Questions. I saw a article in a popular news media that talked about actual legal change in Texas. And I gave him the name of a woman who's an ex-police officer that is actually responsible for changing the way that the police are trained. And this is the core of the solution, and the only solution. And you can't train it when they come out of the academy. You got to nail this in, just like their gun, just like their dress, just like their bed order, just like all that crap. Double time on basic human rights, Constitution, what you can do, what is legal in a broad picture, and they got to walk around with a fucking book. And if you make a statement, gotta read it. You gotta read it. You gotta read it. Because I can
thing
if
you get hemmed up. Same thing. If you get locked up, you get brought down to the booking. Show me
supervisor
the statute that you charging me with. That should be law. Show me when they did me dirty down in the jail cell. I'm asking, like, this shit is unlawful. Like, why should I have to give you my fucking name? Why should I have to give you all my information? Why should I have to spread my fucking asshole because Pew Pew Patterson want to fucking handcuff me and bring me down to the jail cell? Show me the law that you charging me with. I at least deserve that shit.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about that law.
Preach.
Yeah, let me interrupt for just a second. This is how bad it is, at least in Texas, is that it says specifically, and I know this from personal experience, I found out the hard way, that in the state of Texas, it is illegal to resist an unlawful arrest, even though you are 110% sure it's an unlawful arrest.
I have points of issue with your statement, because I actually looked up disarming an officer in Texas, and if unreasonable force is used against you, you can actually, if you're physically capable of doing it. When I was a younger man, I could have. Today, I ain't fucking with that shit. I'm broken. But physically, you are legally okay if you physically disarm that officer. And I've looked it up.
I'm
taking the ass whooping.
Texas, but
I'm taking the ass whooping. I'm straight up. I'm taking the ass whooping, bro. I want you to kick me in my ribs 100 fucking times. Black both eyes, break both fucking jaws.
No money.
Every fucking thing you can break on me, because I'm gonna take you to the bank. And then I'm gonna make a few phone calls, and that's about it.
But I looked in the
make a few phone calls, and them phone calls are gonna be what's really important when you add drugs across the fucking border. For real, no bullshit.
The civilian does have quite a bit of leadway in Texas penal code and stuff like that. But again, the best way, get into the city, raise the issues, do requests, demand changes. They have to comply. They can only say no a finite amount of times before it comes absolutely, blatantly illegal what they're doing, and they're on the hook for a lot more. It's a very easy way to bankrupt the city, to be honest.
The thing is, they hold an oath of office that they're supposed to swear an oath to, dude.
They have the oath to the Constitution and to obey all the laws of these United States of America and the Constitution that it stands for. Yes, they sign every government worker, from the city council to the police officer to the lady who works at the post office. They sign this legal Texas document. It's in the video that I edited. In one ear out the other, there's a lot of stuff, and again,
well, just for our viewers, if you want to know what the oath of office is for post office workers and anybody that's
I have a link for all this.
It's 39 U.S. Code 1011. So 39 U.S. Code 1011. That's the oath of office that before entering upon any duties or before receiving any salary, all officers and employees of postal services have to subscribe to the following oath or affirmation. 39 U.S. Code 1011.
Okay.
And also the well-known fact of the Texas Penal Code that is absolutely gorgeous in its explanation would be, I'm looking up quickly, is 3902, abuse of official capacity, and that's like they go against a sworn oath to not violate the Constitution.
Gets enforced though.
It's very clear that they broke their oath of office.
It could be 110% clear, but try finding an actual judge that will enforce that law.
No, you have to.
You got to put it on record. You got to put it on record.
This would be in a federal court and federal proceedings, and they're in a lot of trouble by what they did. Just on a federal level, it's absolutely insane.
I have a sheriff's deputy here in El Paso County that I have dead to rights, both on written documents and on video, where he lied in his report. It's 100% concrete proof. I brought it to the sheriff's office. I brought it to the district attorney and all that, and they did absolutely nothing.
They're not. You need to go to a federal agency and request the charges.
I will follow it.
Not only that, you need to research what charges you could ask for in a federal suit, which is, I would say, I don't know, depending on the story, between 6 and 8 different charges on a federal level, and you get their house, you get their bitch, you get their boat, and have a nice
sail away.
Well, see, a lot of these, like he was talking about finding a judge or anybody willing to sign off on a warrant of arrest, or even a DA that's even going to try and hold any of their guys that they go to church with or who they share their life with next Sunday with.
Federal level, that's already next level shit. Unless
you file that stuff with like federal level of Texas Rangers, these guys are going to sweep this shit under the rug. That's all they do. We know, everybody on this panel and everybody in this chat knows that law enforcement does whatever they can to cover each other's ass, to include lying on affidavits and written reports to build a narrative, because ultimately at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, their word is going to trump your word every fucking time.
And then on
the only word that'll trump a cop's word is a lawyer word, and that's the way the law works. So I agree.
But
you're bottom of the totem pole.
In addition, like what I deal with here, everything Foulmouth just said is 100% true. But then there's also the issue of deliberate omissions. Like that detective I dealt with at the Walmart, he deliberately made no entry into the police computer record system. So he was trying to conceal that the incident never even happened, even though there's policies that he's supposed to, anytime he makes contact with somebody.
This is why the policy book is always good. So at least on the complaint, you could actually state the policy violation, and it's harder to argue with it. You get, and especially if you have a third eyewitness, again, you have to put him in a corner. You have no chance to put him in a corner.
My camera is my third witness, just like no question about it. Always talks about it in his live stream. The camera doesn't blink. The camera is a witness. It's the perfect witness.
And it never lies either, bro.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I don't have any more questions for the panel. Anybody in the panel got any more questions for us? Anybody in the chat got any last few questions for us? We're going to run through. I'm going to do this like Jerry Springer, baby. Everybody's going to have their final thought. Well, I'm not going to have any strippers or any on the poles or anything. Not that kind of Jerry Springer. So you almost got me, guys. I could have stuck it through the window, but I think the wife would have caught me.
Yeah. I know, right? Lots of strippers. Yeah. I hear them cooking up and shaking.
Come on now.
Ooh, strippers.
But Mazanga, I'm going to lead with you, bud. Any final thoughts, man, that you want to add to anything that we discussed, or just speak in general, man?
I say that repetition is key. Do your homework before you fucking take a step in the quicksand, because it could get deep really, really fast. And again, as No Questions often said in his live, it could have cost him his life. And it's not a joke. And better off to have your rights violated, to have it on film and not even get close to taking the ride. Because again, you don't want to start this off at a lawsuit on your side that you have to fight. That just puts it another 3 years down the road. And then again, it's horrible. So again, whatever you do, get violated, don't get arrested. Don't get just say no, kids.
Right. Horizon, we're gonna get off with you, bud. Give me your final thought, man.
My final thought, I guess, are you in regards to what exactly? Like
whatever you want a final thought.
Anything close to your heart.
Whatever's dearest to your heart.
Well, I think it's nearest and dearest to any of the activists in Texas, and this applies to the similar situation nationwide. But here in Texas, at the end of the day, the big question is, does Texas Penal Code 38.15 have a written, proximity, a written distance to where the cops can say, oh, well, you step at this certain spot and you're automatically under arrest? Because that's what I keep saying with me and with all these other guys, including yourself and No Question and Leo and all these guys. coming to these traffic stops and other scenes where the police are operating is, we'll be standing in a spot that's reasonable and recording, and then they either try to walk up to us or pull a car next to us or figure out some way to say, oh, well, you need to move because you're now interfering by just simply standing there. Like, with no question about it, got arrested. He was arrested for simply speaking.
Mm-hmm.
But the concept is the same. It's like, what exactly is Texas Penal Code 38.15? What is that law? Because if it keeps on being so ambiguous year after year, the cops are always going to get away with arresting people for this Texas Penal Code 38.15 and saying, oh, well, we thought it meant this. We thought it meant that. Then they hide behind qualified immunity every time. And then it creates a chilling effect, which stops people from picking up cameras, and it makes the people who are already recording, stop recording at all and shut down their YouTube channels, because they're like, well, even though the law might say one thing, at the end of the day, the government can just make up whatever they want, so that at the end of the day, I'm either in a jail cell or I've got, all these lawyer fees to pay. I mean, they're playing games with what Texas Penal Code 38.15 is actually supposed to mean. It needs to be written down, and there needs to be a bright line rule, and then that's the sad thing, is that the only way it can even be discussed in the court system is somebody has to get arrested. So that's the fucked up part. You can't even have a discussion in the court system until you get arrested.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. No questions. Final thoughts, brother. I don't know where AC and our guy was. I don't know if they drop, if they're coming back. But final thoughts. No question. What you got for me, bud?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that came in the comments. I know we haven't really been showing a lot of love for everybody that showed up. Banner Anna, Howard Clegg, Joe Cool, Ted Yellow Cat, Bab, Eyes Wide Open, Howard Clegg, everybody that's in the comments showing love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for voicing your grievances. Just pick up a camera. You know what I'm saying? If you can't pick up a camera, make a phone call. If you can't make a phone call, pull up to the damn police station and file a complaint or give a kudos. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff goes a long way, and everybody is important to be involved and put in their part. We're the ones that's on the ground holding the cameras, but it's gonna take just a lot more than us to make change in this country. And I thank y'all for having me. I really enjoyed being here, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in.
Nice. Our guy, we got our final thoughts. What are your final thoughts? End on this live panel, our guy.
Hey, can y'all hear me? I just got my
phone. We can hear you. What's your final thought, brother? You're up.
So I just want mainly thank all y'all for what y'all do, but we need to start, even the ones that can't get out there and press on them, we at least start redressing our grievances to the entire. Every little bit counts for what we do and how we do it. Any little thing will help it. So, just keep doing what y'all do.
Awesome. Absolutely. All right, my quick final thoughts, guys. I gotta say, I have to go along with we the people. We need to continue to educate ourselves on our civil liberties and stop bending over for meager things such as safety and officer safety, and educate yourself and your children, man. The only way that we're going to be able to continue and push forward with maintaining our rights is if we do it together. And unless we join the cause and join together and stop all the bickering back and forth between one another, we're not going to do anything but further divide ourselves, and that's what they want. So open your mind up, open your heart up to your brothers and sisters next to you, because that's what they are. They're your brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not. And just like brothers and sisters, we don't all get along, but we damn sure love each other, and we damn sure will have each other's back, especially when they're being violated from thugs and criminals with badges. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I love all my activists. I love all you guys in Texas. You know how much I love you guys. I love all my supporters. Everyone that puts forth an effort to come onto this panel and come into the chat and give their opinion in the chat or even up here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for the support. I know these guys appreciate all the support. I definitely look forward to bringing more content for you. I look forward to working with No Question and everybody else that's involved to get this ordinance taken out and have a win, not only for the 1A community, but a win for the people that stand next to us, behind us, and in front of us to help push us and catapult us forward in the change that we're trying to make in this community. So thank each and every one of you.
Mazanga.
Yo.
So on that, we're gonna No Question. I'm gonna end it and we can chat in the background. So on that note, guys.
Hold on, Mazanga ain't give his final. Did he give his final thoughts?
Yeah.
I gave my final thought, and the remedy would be, get violated, don't get arrested, kids.
Right.
Just say no.
Yeah.
Just say no. You want to start with your civil suit and federal suit. You don't want to finish a police story that all they do is lie. Yeah, you ain't getting a no. No.
Right. No, you're not.
Beat the ride. Beat the ride. Be the smart one that knows how to beat the ride. Yeah.
We guys gotta always remember FTP, man. FTP. Foxtrot Tango Papa. Film the police, damn it. Film the police.
Yeah. All cats are beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end the stream. Thank you guys for coming in. You guys stay free, stand strong, stay vigilant. It's not only foul mouth veteran out. Oh, you guys out. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.